Alright, let's start this game. Dear Esther, Landmark Edition. Whoop whoop. No, we won't do that first game. Alright, so 4 chapters. Let's go with the Lighthouse. Hopefully that border does not persist throughout the game. Hopefully.
Dear Esther, the gulls do not land here anymore. I've noticed that this year they seem to shun the place. Maybe it's the depletion of the fishing stock driving them away. Perhaps it's me.
Oh,
when he first
indeed.
landed here, Donnelly wrote that the herds were sickly and their shepherds the lowest of the miserable classes that populate these Hebridean islands. 300 years later, even they have departed.
I don't think anyone wants to be on this island. Everyone's leaving. Oh. Wonder where I came from. Oh, spooky. Spooky. So let's check inside. Flashlight. Got a flush. Where's the flush? There's a bucket. Is this kitchen? No. It's more like a workshop. Book? No. I'm just searching. I got no idea what I'm doing. What am I looking for? Oh. I don't know chemistry. If that's a chemical equation. Okay, nothing to see here. Doesn't look like anything went down. Nope. Probably shouldn't stay for too long, just in case this is more of a scary situation. I mean, I don't know anything about this game, but this could turn into something I'm not expecting. Food supplies or paint? Paint. What are we painting? Is there anything on the walls in this? No? Why am I on this island? Up or down, up or down. Let's search down first. Because you gotta work your way from the bottom to the top. Chapter 1 was Lighthouse, eh? Do I have to go to the Lighthouse? Maybe. Probably doing this wrong. I don't think so. I didn't see a way to get to it. Is there a sprint? Oh, no, there's a zoom. 2 zooms, 4 buttons of zooms. Every other button is a zoom. I mean, I think I gotta be going up because, you know, lighthouses are up.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace.
See.
They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the...
Video...
the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave,
How old
but
is this
Donnelly
guy?
records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
I don't know Morse code. Is that Morse code? There's a random person down there I can't get to though. I don't know what's going on in this island. There's a lot of paint. They obviously want this place to look really nice. Gonna don't fall. Oh, I fell. Can't go that way. Dip my toes in the water. Don't have any feet. I'm a floating camera. Crab traps, didn't catch any crabs. Oh, stairs. That's what we're after.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face.
Ooh.
No one knew what to say, so you
Two-Face.
cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
What? So you knew the birthmark, right? And you helped it, but that's where I fell. Then you just met him again. Did you help him from afar? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm missing something. It's gotta be.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight. He landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend, but then he didn't have my reasons.
Oh, it might be. I know that looks like a radio tower. Maybe the lighthouse is called this for the chapter because I started at the lighthouse and I'm not actually going to the lighthouse. I'm going to assume that. Let's go. Nice little foliage. I don't know why this island was deserted by everyone.
When someone had died or was dying,
Maybe
or so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts.
Jeez.
My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Okay. I'm gonna go this way. Gonna follow the path. Because when you go off the path,
I quote
you
directly,
normally die.
a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most God-forsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Am I missing clues for, like, directional signs of, like, where I'm I'm supposed to be going. Because I'm aiming for that. Oh, there's a boat. I'm aiming for that flashing light.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
So I was up in that hole before.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Probably just missed a whole bunch of story material there, but I am fascinated by what they are. Where's the guy with the flashlight? Is that it? Dead end? I don't know what's going on. I'll get to the end and it'll be a massive brain explosion of information. I won't know what would be going. Oh yeah, just look different. Oh, the music's back. Time to go this way. Just following the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. All we need now is a wizard. We need to find a wizard. I think I'm just gonna head for the Eye of Sauron. Seems like a plan. Radio tower. That wasn't me. Crackling was not me.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that.
Yeah.
It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage,
Was there a
with
plague?
enough left over to thicken the air and
Or like,
repopulate the bay.
Is this from like back in the day, like a big battle, and then lots of people died here? I don't know. A little bit of Stonehenge. Okay, let's go up into the creepy hills, because I was on that mountain before. I mean, it is a pretty game. I just don't understand this black border, but who cares? I want to know your secrets. Show me your secrets. Now. A hollow corridor. That looks like a great idea. Thank goodness this is not a horror game. Narrow, dark corridor. You fall down. You